Annyeonghaseyo from Seoul, South Korea. This major Asian metropolis is arguably the most highly developed, economically successful place in all of Eastern Asia. And I am so thrilled to be able to experience it and share it with you at home. What's going on, everyone? I'm Zeppernick, and this is As the Axis Tilts.
Situated in northwest South Korea, the megacity of Seoul is a mecca for thrill-seeking travelers. There's never a dull moment, especially when you first arrive, and even watching the traffic go by is an attraction.
Hey, kind of getting the hang of it. Gangman style, that's the extent of that, because I do not dance in public unless you were to Venmo me at least $20 on the spot. And this is my Taekwondo pose, and I believe I still have my yellow belt at home, courtesy of Master Kim from 5th grade. Some of my first thoughts and impressions while here in Seoul, first thing that comes to mind, a navigation issue. They do not use Google Maps here in Seoul, and it's banned actually in the entire country of South Korea by the Korean government. So if you're an abnormal person who likely sleeps with their socks on, who wouldn't use Google Maps anyway, it's no big deal. But if you are a normal person who sleeps with the fan on for at least the white noise, who does use Google Maps, it's initially a big problem. However, they have two of their own navigation systems, Navermap and Kakao Map. Gets the job done, not to the extent of Google Maps in my opinion. And also you get lucky if you're familiar with Apple Maps. So they still have their own effectiveness and they still get the job done getting from point A to point B. And another thing, they hit it out of the park here, no pun intended, in terms of baseball. A lot of baseball fandom scattered throughout the city. I've seen a lot of the California teams. I've seen the Giants, I've seen the Dodgers, I've seen the A's, haven't seen the Padres and haven't seen the Angels, but who knows, that might be around the corner.
Nah, wait, there's more.
So the main language here is Korean, of course. So when you converse with somebody, they speak little to no English whatsoever. So the question is, why when you walk into a store or a restaurant, you automatically hear an English song being sang in English? So the same people who predominantly speak Korean are those same ones listening to How Will I Know by Whitney Houston, or a 2016 chorus from Kanye West's album.
So does that mean if Bob Marley toured here, he would have sung Buffalo Soldier? And dude, take off the sunglasses at night. What the? Anyway, if you're centrally located in Seoul, the best way to begin your Seoul experience is by visiting the 5 royal palaces: Deoksugang, Gyeongbokgung, Jeongdeokgung, Cheonggyeong, and Gyeonggwang. I began at Deoksugang and went from there.
Classic over-the-shoulder shot from a distance, about a mile, 25-minute walk to be exact, from the Deoksugang Palace. Just north lies the most prodigious of 5 ancient palaces that inhabit the city of Seoul. Deoksugang Palace, originally established back in 1395 by the imperialist Joseon dynasty. I gotta ask them though, during those ruling times, was admission still closed on Tuesdays and reopened Wednesdays?
Get used to hearing the name Joseon Dynasty while learning about the context of Korean history. You can learn more about the Joseon Dynasty at the National Palace Museum that is located at Gyeongbokgung Palace. And nestled in between Deoksugang and Gyeongbokgung Palace lies the legendary Gyeongmuman Square. Back to the present, cross over the Han River and check out the rich neighborhood of Samsung-dong. Dubbed the Beverly Hills of Seoul, this place is a shopper's paradise. Samsung-dong is also home to the Bangga-Unsa Buddhist Temple, which hosts the annual Buddhist birthday celebration. Then, if you're still looking for some Gangnam style, which once again I will not do in public unless there is a financial incentive attached to it, head over to nearby Gangnam. My favorite between both of these joints though was the Soyeong and Jirongnam ancient tomb.
Staying in the affluent suburb of Samsung-dong, be sure to make your way just off the road to Soyeong. This ancient tomb was originally founded back in the tail end of the 14th century, is the current resting place of the 9th and 11th monarchs of the imperialist Joseon dynasty. And during that reign, during that supreme time of power, this monarch right here, King Seongjong, he had 3 wives. And get this, his 3rd wife, Queen Haeyeong, outlived him by 35 years. Her tomb's just up the road. Can't wait to visit that one as well. Talk about a player, right?
Then there's Olympic Park, which hosted the 1988 Seoul Olympics and has hopeful Olympians training year-round of all shapes and sizes. More culture and history awaits at the National Museum of Korea, and just next door, revisit history class at the Korean War Memorial, you know, from 1950. The whole reason why there's a North and South Korea to begin with during the Cold War. But in terms of the whole infrastructure of the city, the most dazzling place in my opinion is Cheonggyecheon Stream, which also used to be the most accessible water supply in all of Seoul back in the mid-19th century. Take a hike through the crisp, brisk air of Bukhansan National Park. The scenic landscape is just north of Seoul, known for its large silver boulders and rugged peaks, and to be honest though, the huffing and puffing on the way to the top isn't fun. Yeah, sorry you had to see that. Seoul is a haven for green spaces in urban areas. Buk-Seoul Dream Forest, Namsan Park, and the hike to Namsan Seoul Tower within Namsan Park, which at the top offers panoramic glimpses of the city that await. And maybe the most foresty of them all is Seoul Forest Park. Now to the culinary fare. From ancient times to present, kimchi, or spicy cabbage, has been the staple food in South Korea. Pair that with everything from tofu to the famed foot-long ice cream cones, and voila! But my first impression wasn't much about the food as much as it was about what I had to drink. Alright, I was today years old when I found out that this is how they pronounce Sprite here in Seoul. Now, I'm at a plant-based vegetarian restaurant because I am shocked, saddened, and frankly deeply disturbed to the core that Seoul in South Korea still practices intensive factory farming. So I'll not be eating any meat whatsoever here. Seafood, yes, hesitantly, but no meat, no pork, no poultry, no nothing. But can you believe this is how Sprite comes here in Seoul? Wow. Korean pancakes are as good as they come. The three main street food destinations that sell pancakes and more are Namdaemun Market, Gwangjang Market, and Myeongdong Street. Beware though, mainly cash only accepted. And if you love seafood, the Rangjin Wholesale Fish Market sells every type of seafood imaginable. Namsan Honok Village is another ancient and decorative sight to see while in Seoul. And also walking around the streets of Seoul, you'll notice a lot of military personnel. I wonder if they're the ones who are enforcing the strict no jaywalking laws throughout the city. No trip to Seoul is complete without visiting the DMZ, the dividing line between South and North Korea that's been established for over 70 years. And hey, it's a haven for wildlife as well, with over 61 endangered species residing in the area. So much to do, so much to see in so little time.
Well, if you only had one day in Seoul and you were located in the central area of town, you would have to check out all 5 of the royal palaces. Too much history, too much culture to miss out on. They're all conveniently located within walking distance. You can see one after the other in consecutive fashion. Have to check it out. And if you really have time and you're really willing to get up while the birds sing, you got to check out Bukhansan National Park. That varies between the mixture of commerce as well as nature all in one. If you only had one day here in Seoul.
Such fine, friendly people, and a democratic nation unlike their neighbors to the north. So feel free to protest the government anytime. And lastly, don't forget to get lost in one of the underground malls, subways, or railroads.
Well, it's no wonder that a place like Seoul, South Korea ranks 4th on the Global Quality of Life Index. I'm surprised it's not even a little higher. That's all for me. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Zeppernick. Till wherever I land next, this has been As the Axis Tilts.